Okay, so we have the audio coming through. Okay, so let's see. Test that this is good. I see audio coming through there. Actually, you know what? I will do my usual check real quick, just to make sure something is going through. All right, let's see. This is good. So, oh, yep, definitely sound coming through. Great. All right. I think that's everything. Okay. So, welcome everyone. We're back for another session of Obsidian Office Hours. For those who weren't with me on the previous session with Build with Ben, I'm kind of in a new recording environment because I'm on the road right now. So we're testing out some new equipment, seeing how it goes. So the microphone here takes in a little bit more noise from the background than I'd like. But again, this is all sort of testing, learning how to adapt as we go. Because a big part of a lot of my new content creation going forward is really about progress over perfection, that pop principle. And so while this is not the most ideal recording environment, I want to just sort of keep these office hours open, just getting that back in the habit. More importantly, as we go over things, sharing the things that I'm doing. That way there is a record for that for anyone who wants to watch it afterwards. And more importantly, over time, hopefully this habit builds into something bigger. So it's just getting those reps in really is kind of where I'm at with this at the moment. Okay, so in terms of where we're at for today, one of the things that came with the big Obsidian 1.0 release, which happened a little while ago, is that a lot of the themes are now out of date. And so my own theme, the one I did for Night Owl, inspired by Sarah Drasner's VS Code theme, that one is not functioning according to the 1.0 styles. And I've been using something else in its place. And as much as I love the current theme that I'm using, there are many times where I'd want to tweak something or just want to start playing around with it a bit more. And I'm not at the point where it's that quite easy to do. So what we're going to do for today is we're basically going to do a bit of a live, I guess it's a little bit fused with the Build with Ben concept in the sense of I'll be working on the Night Owl theme while people have questions. And then more importantly, you'll get to see what it's like to take someone else's theme, kind of fork it, and then sort of see how you customize it to your own in case it's something in case it's something that is of interest to you. So, hey, I see Michael in the chat. Hello, how's it going? Okay, so with that said, I say let's jump right in, shall we? All right, here we go. So we have everything up. Looks like we're good. All right, so first thing first, when it comes to the Obsidian stuff, let's take a look at my theme demo file. So I have this thing inside of Obsidian where it basically lets me see what a theme looks like with the various pieces of Markdown that you might typically use. So we can see here code blocks, linking, this kind of stuff, embed. So you see all the different headings here, which is nice. But as we start to see, okay, block quotes, okay, like that, yep, okay. Yeah, not too bad. But as I'm looking at this, so one of the things, what is this theme? Let's start with a simple question. So the theme I'm currently using is called Obsidianite, which I like a lot, to be honest. There's a lot of cool design implementations that I find pretty interesting. So for example, let's see, actually, let me do this like that. Oh, interesting. I don't love that. Can I just do this? There you go. That's better to me. Okay. So for example, okay, so the block quotes is nice. You have this little kind of like gradient thing, fading box bit. But what I have noticed though, so if we call this, what heading is this? This is 3. So if I now that I've learned this, because I've been using this, I've used this theme for a little while now. I know there's something that's a little bit broken, where the multi-line block quote doesn't quite work as well. So this is my first line. This is my second line. And so really what you're looking at here is just this really. So actually let me just copy these 2 lines, drop them in here. So these 2 things then appear, I mean, like they're conjoined. The block, I guess this kind of works, but this is one of those things where like, I don't know, personally I might not prefer this as my way to render a multi-line block, especially if it's like a running quote. It seems like these are disjointed thoughts is basically where my thought is with that. And so, okay, so that's kind of a problem. links, for example, as well. Okay, unable to find. Oh, it can't find this. What? Let's see. What? Oh, so it changed. Okay, there you go. Now this embed works. Okay, but yeah, so the embed here, not bad. But linking, So I found out this thing. Link to a page with bold. So if we take the same internal link, and actually this is probably not even a real link right now, so I'm just gonna do Obsidian. Oh wait, hold on, is this a thing? No, this is a new page. I really don't, no, I don't need that. So what I wanna do is, let's just say we're linking to my Obsidian note. There you go, so that looks good, right? That's what you would expect. However, if we were to do this bolded, so for whatever reason, because stylistically speaking, right, when we bold Obsidian, it looks like, I kind of like this gradient here that Obsidianite does. But when we do the bold on this, though, you're going to see what happens. It, whoops, that's not what I wanted. Oof. It has this, like, weird effect going on where, like, I think some color is masking incorrectly. And so now that I think about it, I'm actually curious then if I link it with italics. So we'll just do single quote. What does that look like? So here you go, italic. And then we'll do that, like that. And then how does that look? Okay, that doesn't look too shabby. That looks kind of what you would kind of expect. And then if we do bold and italics, like here, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, like this. Kind of interesting that the typography does this little bump thing. It's kind of interesting. Okay, so I'd grab that and like that. Oh, yeah, okay. So as you would expect, the bold overrides it. So this is, for me, like a clear bug. And while I could certainly contribute back to the original theme, I've always wanted to get my Night Owl theme back up anyways. So I'm basically going to take some inspiration, and then if I get around to it, something would love to contribute back to this theme, because Obsidianite did a nice job here, where you can combine them, yada yada, links, great. Okay, so knowing that, where would you start in terms of this concept? So first thing I would honestly do, I would just look up Obsidianite theme GitHub. Because basically all of our themes, to some extent, live in this sort of, here we go. So design and coded by Benny Guo, dark simple, yet stay sparkles. Yeah, so this is great. Again, love a lot of the things done by this, and so I want to fork this in order to basically create a version of this that I will use to kind of update based on with a Night Owl, basically. Support light preview, yep, this looks pretty good, because at this point we can see here that the Obsidian.css, yeah, this is pretty massive, but we'll figure out better ways to update this when the time comes. Okay, so let's go back. So let's see, how do I want to do this? So the way I'm thinking of, basically, in my thoughts, so let's see, if we look at the repositories, and we look at the Night Owl Obsidian theme, Obsidian Night Owl, yep. So let's see, So this theme is the one, okay, this is the VS Code theme, this is the one here, okay. So there's a couple ways to do this. So you'll notice Obsidian Night Owl is actually forked currently from Obsidian Minimal at this point. And so it's debatable whether I should kind of keep that enhancement, or, because as you can see with the minimal CSS, there's kind of a lot going on here in terms of like it providing things. So it looks like, yeah, they have like already Sass partials that breaks into things, which I do like a lot, to be honest. So that's something that is pretty cool. But if we go back to my Obsidianite, we can see here, this is pretty clean. Rubric, yep, paid font, okay. So this is kind of the intention behind this, okay. So I have a choice to make at this point, is whether to use, basically base it off of this Obsidianite, which I have been using and enjoy quite a bit, or do, let's see, what other forks? A bunch of people have forked this one. I think for the sake of getting something up and running. Ooh, I see I'm Procrates in the chat. Hello, how's it going? we are currently in the process of figuring out what the strategy is for updating the Night Owls theme so that it can basically have a lot of the flair that Obsidianite has that we see. Because, for example, I really like this piece, the horizontal line. And so it looks like it's doing something here regarding, like, yeah, there is clearly this bit here. Oh, yeah, so it's taking this symbol and just, like, rotating it a little bit. So it looks like this artistic bit. So I love this piece. So let's see, yeah. I mean, let's see. All right, as I'm thinking about this, I don't want to overthink this too much, but let's look at this real quick. So we look at the themes that are available. Default, minimal continues to be, yeah, minimal is the most popular one. Obsidianite is still very popular, but it doesn't, yeah, because I think it doesn't have, oh wait, this is Legacy though. But even the Legacy still has all this stuff. So if we don't count Legacy, oh, you can customize the heck out of it. Dang. Okay, so the only tricky part though is that there's clearly a lot of, oof, okay. Yep, this is pretty great. All right, let's look at the source code real quick. Snippets, changes, this piece. The Obsidian CSS is that big. Oh, that's always my, this is one of the things that, even as someone who's a front end, like web developer for a long time, loves CSS, the massive CSS changes that go into this are always a little bit frightening, because a lot of times they are just this, I mean, gigantic CSS. I mean, let's just see how bad it is. If we look at the raw, I mean, this is easily what? Okay, settings. Yeah, okay. So what I like about this, for those who are kind of new to theme development, is it's designed to work well with the minimal theme style, the plugin. So if we look at core plugin or community plugins, you notice here there's this thing called minimum theme settings. And minimal theme settings is basically allows you to customize someone's theme without like having to do all this CSS. But I wonder if it's updated and still works with the new 1.0. It accompanies the minimal theme, yep. Here, and the minimal theme is update. I mean, it does. Yeah, but as far as I'm aware, this is reverse compatibility for OS X 5.3.2. Yeah, but I don't think. Okay, so I'm Procreate. Okay, I see a comment here. Sorry about that. Struggling to get into the flow of note-taking. I love the idea of Obsidian, but why is a theme necessary? It is obviously a personal preference, but is it a boost in productivity? This is, oh, Michael. What up? Okay, that explains it. Okay, in terms of, okay, note-taking, let's switch context to this question, because I think this is a good one. So let's just add, this is a future one, so Obsidian office hour here. 27, I believe, update NIL theme. Okay, so we got a question here. So we did the introduction, and then current theme state, and then let's talk about. Oh, I see Doom Man in the chat. Yeah, so minimal uses minimal settings, themes, and settings. Yep, agreed. Why is a theme necessary? And then I can't spell, double S. Michael. All right, cool. Let's talk about this actually, because I've been hemming and hawing a little bit clearly regarding how I want to set this up. Okay, so when we think of your notes, I mean, okay, certainly when we think of themes with note taking, you can certainly attribute it to mere personal preference, which I think is relevant for a lot of people. But the reason why I think personalization is a big part of note-taking is because if you ever see, like, they've done studies on memory retention and this kind of thing. I wish I had the studies offhand to like show them. But when you spend the time to personalize your notes and like Like this is why when people like draw the notes, you notice some people they seem to go above and beyond, right? Like if they're taking a course on like brain science, they'll draw the brain, they'll draw diagrams. There's something about the time you take to like really make it your own that I think helps to give it some sort of contextual attachment when it comes to memory, creating those memories and remembering things. And so, especially if you're going to spend a lot of time in your note system, I would argue that the more you can get it to look the way your brain naturally likes, or more importantly, the way your brain intakes information, the more likely you are to use it. Now, granted, I will absolutely state that there is a clear exception to this, because the clearest analogy in my mind to this is code editors. So, for example, for those who don't know, here's my code editor, for example. So if I open my like personal site for Ben Code Zen, you'll see that this has like different colors, syntaxes for highlighting. And for example, there's nothing stopping me, like if we're talking about themes, we could keep it real simple. Like this is like the dark one. Actually, this is not even the simplest one. I think, is it flat? I don't know. Anyways, so what I'm trying to say here, let me switch it back before I forget. Night owl. Okay, is that at least for me, it helps me to parse information easier, which is very helpful for taking notes. But more importantly, again, the exception I want to call here is there are some people who straight up work in like black and white text, no syntax highlighting. I want to acknowledge the validity of that approach, and that there's a whole population of people who do work like that. So there is none of this like color brackets and stuff. For some people, it just doesn't work for their brain. And so theming, on the other hand, is one of those things where like I think in similarly regarding to like those who code, there is something to be said about being able to read things easily and identify things a certain way. So for example, this thing bothers me to no end. I know people have different opinions on this, but when I check something as complete, I actually don't want it to strike through. And now that I think about this, do I even have the strike through down here? I want to make sure that is accounted for. Here we go. I don't think I see a checkbox. Okay, check. Yep, here we go. Okay, great. And my argument against the strike through is because if you really don't need it anymore, then theoretically you just delete the checklist item. But part of the reason we keep checklists there is because it's nice to be able to reference them when you're like, wait a second, what did I do, or what am I trying to see? And the line absolutely gets in the way of the readability for me, like 1,000%. So again, to be clear, yes, there is preference to it. But then I would say readability for some is critical. Because again, if you told me to look at this same code in like a black and white, like actually let me do this, not notepad, text edit. So when I was talking about like no syntax highlighting whatsoever, it's basically, let me copy plain text. Yeah, so it would be as if it looked like this. It's black. And then can I remove the background? Come on. Black, no background. Whatever. Okay, wait. Text, white. Whatever. Okay, but you get the point, right? Like some people, they're good reading it like this. For me, that just wouldn't work. The moment I got syntax highlighting in my coding career, it was a huge difference. Made my life so much easier. I mean, again, my basic argument for this is that like, our eyes can differentiate all these different colors, shapes, patterns. Why not leverage that? It seems, for me, to use my brain, to use the processing power of my brain to like figure out where things end and begin, doesn't make any sense. So it's honestly partly an efficiency for me, efficiency argument thing for me. So, anyways, hope that was helpful. Okay, got it. Let's see. I see Friendly Bot. Hello, Friendly Bot. So Michael. Okay, so next question here. Which platform? Oh, okay, yeah, this is a great personal for future as a content creator. Okay, so for those who've been sort of following the new sort of live stream format, you'll notice that I'm streaming to 2 different places. I'm currently streaming to YouTube and I'm streaming to Twitch. And for a while, I'd been debating this as far as like my original approach was to keep Twitch for live streaming and then like download the recording and then figure out the editing process and then upload it to YouTube. That was my ideal. What I came to learn though is that it was a decent amount of work to get it from the Twitch workflow process over to the YouTube side. And over time, I was either dropping episodes that I had recorded, and then people were asking about it, and then it was like this thing that was on my mind. And the reality is, it was tricky for me to upkeep. And so, the other thing about Twitch too is that there is kind of a certain audience that gets tailored to, because you have to kind of already be familiar with Twitch to kind of use it. Otherwise, most people, especially for something like note taking, they might actually not be in the note taking community, or sorry, they might not be in the Twitch community because of like they're not really gamers, or they just don't want to download another app. But most people are willing to open and like YouTube links and have a YouTube account, because a lot of people have some sort of Google account. So I think part of it's an accessibility thing. For now, I probably will keep it for both both platforms, given that I already have an audience with Twitch. There are people who clearly enjoy following me on Twitch, and I don't want to take that away from them if they're already following me, so that they have to switch to something else. That's my current thought process on it at the moment. And so as a way to sort of open up, broaden the audience a little bit, give people accessibility, and then finally the boost of like when this live stream is finished, like it's on YouTube, so people don't have to be like, oh, when is that coming? Whereas Twitch will delete it. So I'm kind of living in a hybrid world right now. Now, don't get me wrong, if I ever get to the point where I can get back to that original thought process, maybe that's what I'll do. But to be honest, even at that point, given that YouTube has an accessibility for people to just get in and also chat with me, just like we're doing right now, then what I do, I might keep it. But what I might do is I might call it like keep the raw version up for like the first week, and then after I have like a video editor go through, clean up like any glitches, that kind of stuff, then like that one would get unpublished, and then we would put the published one up. But I will say the immediate thing that comes to mind for me as a content creator is that there usually is interaction on that live stream already. So people are starting to comment on it. That means I would lose that interaction and like that sort of thread. So I'm a little bit torn, if I'm not mistaken, if you can understand, I'm a little bit torn on what the best approach will be for that. But in the meantime, progress over perfection. So hence the kind of hybrid model I've done, so that at the bare minimum, we have this weekly, people can watch this and learn from it. So currently the hybrid Twitch plus YouTube approach for accessibility and recording availability. Cool. Let's see. Downside of YouTube is finding streams. Yeah, see, actually, Dudeman here has a great point here regarding the Twitch part. Twitch makes it really easy to be like, someone's gone live. To be honest, as far as I'm aware, I don't think YouTube has that level of notification. Maybe it does, but I know Twitch is just way better at that. So by using both, people can leverage the notification system that works the best for them, which is pretty great. Okay, so you have Twitch stream. Okay, cool. So Michael, thanks for the shout. I'm going to drop this in here for the notes to check out later. So Dead Pine, shout out to Dead Pine for a recommendation from Michael. Okay, cool. Yep. All right, Neverland, the Stud Art of... Okay, actually, let me just copy this over, because I realized I did manage to get the dual screen thing working, which I'm pretty excited about. So now I have my iPad to the right, which means your comments can be up, and I don't have to do that weird monitor switching thing that I was doing yesterday when I was kind of playing with this. So, okay, so the question here, repeating the thing, I'll never learn from it. Yeah, okay, so this is honestly one of the biggest criticisms of note-taking, I will say, is that most people end up either taking notes or personalizing to the point where it doesn't necessarily become application. And I think for this particular thing, when I'm thinking about it, there was a clip I saw recently from a speaker that I actually really respect. His name is Vin. And he was talking about the fact that when you read, a lot of people read, they highlight, they take notes, but that's basically it, right? And then they have this aspiration to eventually go back and review stuff and then do all this stuff. And I'll be honest, I'm one of those people. I tend to do a lot of highlighting, reviewing. But what he did say instead, what he recommended, which I think I'll take some sort of hybrid approach to this at some point, which we'll talk about book processing and that kind of thing in the near future, is that it's about making something actionable. So what he does is at the end of every chapter, he will figure out like the one action he wants to take that will like apply to his sort of daily life. And so I think to your point, studying for the sake of studying honestly has limited value and honestly ends up being rote memorization half the time. And so to your point of like actually doing the thing and repeating it, so the point of we're learning about coding, like actually building something is the most tangible way to actually learn the skill. And I would say that's probably true fairly universally, unless you really are like studying for like a certification program where you're literally supposed to memorize things. So like when I was studying for my AWS certification, it was like you had to memorize that like on what tier plan had what limit of memory, yada yada, and like that's the kind of thing you straight up need to like take notes on, memorize. But this is what I will say though. So note taking should be more like think thought processing. Okay, so a lot of people, when they think of taking notes and the studying aspect, is like if you're taking the classic textbook example of when we're in school, they think of it as, okay, I'm going to read a chapter, I'm going to highlight some stuff, and I'm taking notes on the thing. And the notes usually end up being some sort of regurgitation of whatever information is being said. The flip side of that, though, to make it more actionable, especially because some knowledge is not immediate. Like when you were talking about like repeating the same thing you need to know right away. So yeah, there's spaced repetition. There's ways to like help to like practice the stickiness of it. But what they've generally found is that, I mean, think about how many times when you've taken an actual personal interest in something, like, let's say, I don't know, what's a good instance of this? So, for example, like I'm a big fan of the Cradle series by Will White, and the amount of things I know about that universe are quite surprising because I've taken the time to really sort of, I don't know, it stuck with me in a way that, how do I say this? It's really easy to recall because I just met up with a friend last night. We had like a ball just like talking because the series was recently ended. It's a 12-book series. And so when I take notes on that series, it's less because I'm trying to like remember certain pieces, but I'm actually more like trying to call out the things that are important to me over time as a way of more like fleshing out my thoughts behind it. And so whether it's like a quote that they said and what it means to me over time, writing can be very therapeutic in that regard. And so this is where I don't know how I necessarily want to coin it just yet. And in fact, I don't think I'd be the first one to think of this process. But think of note-taking less of like, I'm just going to copy down a concept or just sort of make a note that will be referenceable later. But like as a way to reinforce the knowledge that you intend on queuing up later, but more importantly, as much as humanly possible, with your own personal spin on it. Because otherwise, I mean, let's think about it honestly, with things like ChatGPT, AI being able to summarize and regurgitate a lot of information that it ingests nowadays, really our unique value, to be honest, has always been what our spin on it is. What is our, whether it's call it the hot take or our unique perspective on it, that's really the most interesting thing that it comes to conversations, because people will be like, what is your thought on the singularity, right? And what do you think will happen? And being able to process those things and share those things, that's really what sparks conversation. That's really what I think gets people really excited at the end of the day. And so I would say as you're doing your thing, these notes are more for you to facilitate your thinking. And so to your point of like, if you're learning the skill and then you like repeat it, then if you come up with a shortcut, to me, the shortcut is the thing you take a note on. And to be honest, that note often ends up being some sort of blog post at some point that you want to share with people. Like, it's one of the things where like, ooh, like this is something that future me is probably going to forget that I did. And so I have, for example, I have a blog post, I have a note on how to write blog posts for Netlify, which is the company I work for. And I have like these little tips in there for myself that actually tell me like, oh, don't forget to do this and don't forget to do this, because I always forget otherwise. And so if we think of it more like documenting the things that we learn, I think that is one way I tend to think of it. But anyways, I am totally ranting at this point. YouTube for sure, as long as you're subscribed. This is how I reach your stream at Twitch now through YouTube. Okay, got it. So there is notifications through YouTube. That's good to know. Yeah, YouTube for streams isn't particularly great. Yeah, again, my big thing with YouTube at this point is really about, one, letting people know it exists, people who only have YouTube to access it, and three, the recordings. Hey, I see Nick here in the chat. What up, what up? All right. I'm thinking more of a fast-paced window. Once I need to implement as fast as possible, force implement what I need before I check it out again. No, makes sense. Cool. Hey, I see View Gilmore. View Gilmore, what up? Yes, it's been a little while. But yes, I am back. The recordings are going live now instantly. So no more like me, like I have to go download it and upload it. And you would be surprised, even with like I know that there's faster internet in the world than the United States, but generally speaking, I know that United States Wi-Fi is pretty fast, and I tried to pay for gigabit internet and use that whenever I can. It takes a long time to upload stuff and manage things. So I'm pretty glad to get that process automated at this point, and looking forward to improving that over time once I can get more infrastructure or hopefully build out a team that can help me to do this stuff. So, okay, cool. Okay, this is a good question. Vim key bindings. Yeah, so Friendly Bot here with a question on Vim key bindings. I personally don't use Vim bindings, but you'll see here that I believe. Oh wait, no, actually, I'm not even sure this is. No, this is not even it. I think. Oh, I gotta say, hold up. There are plenty of people who want to do Vim and Obsidian. Yeah, editor. Oh, is it the editor? That's right. That's what it was. It's in here. So, yeah, here we go. So there actually is native support for Vim key bindings under the editor advanced. And so if you want to play around with that, go ahead and turn that on. And my Vim is pretty rusty, so besides basic navigation and learning how to quit the window, that's basically all I'm going to do. So I don't want to break anything at the moment, so I won't turn that on, but just know that that's an option for you. So yeah, editor advanced settings, so it's in there. So go nuts, have fun. I've heard people have pretty good success with the Vim key bindings. So yep. Yeah, so to Friendly Bot, honestly, and to anyone here, out of context questions are always welcome. Okay, in the meantime, I'll keep an eye on the chat, but I'm going to jump back over to the theme part, because one of the things I've tried to do is to make sure that whatever objective is for the stream, even though this gives me a bit of anxiety every time, because there's always a question of whether I'll actually get to like this goalpost, but it's like a good practice on my end to basically make sure I accomplish the set objectives. So to me, I would like to get to the point where like the Obsidian Night Owl theme is at least updated to, at least I have something to work from that I can slowly iterate on. So in that regard, if we're looking at the appearance, for example, Obsidianite, so I have all this legacy stuff here, as we can see here. So I believe actually if we do Obsidian theme, themes, manage, update themes, yeah. Uninstall current themes, learn more, build a theme. That's what I want. Okay, great. Git, yep. Themes, yep. Theme, sample theme, open themes, appearance, manifest JSON, CSS variables, change the background color. That's fine. Okay. I remember there was a specific way you could tell. So this says obsidian.css, theme.css. Wait, why are these different? This is where the Night Owl theme can say theme Obsidian says, yep, that's there too. Oh, I could have sworn there was a way. Wait, did I? What's my commit history? Where's Ben? Where's older? This is all Kipana's commits, which is fine, but I definitely... This is a little bit interesting to me. Obsidian Night Owl, yep. I had my own theme at one point, and I'm kind of curious what happened to it. I don't think I've pulled in... Yeah, July. I mean, has it really been that long? I mean, use adaptive. I'm like so confused right now. Okay, hang on a sec. Obsidian Night Owl. Yeah, I have all this source index stuff. So the grunt file. This is a whole thing right here. So how do I check git let's see, git remote, git c remote origin, git config, get this. Great. Whoops. Obsidian Night Owl. This is correct. Yes. Okay, then what is going on here? Obsidian theme 1.1k commits, Nux 4.3k commits. Yeah. Git remote v, yep. It's weird though because Obsidian Night Owl is here, but I clearly have a completely different version locally, which is a little bit weird to me. Already up to date. Oh wait, this is right then. Something. So I must have either replaced it at some point, because this doesn't make any sense to me, given that if we take a look at like my dev theme. Oh, Night Owl. See, here's my Night Owl theme, and this is a little bit old, but like, see, I like this. This was nice, but it's clearly out of date. So we take a look at the themes here. Yeah, we'll see that the Night Owl CSS is here. Oh yeah, I think that was the change. That's how you knew. Because Night Owl itself, yeah, it has to be obsidian.css for it to have the things. I think that was the big change ultimately. Because this is minimal, for example, but it's kind of interesting because if we look at the if we look at the themes and manage it, Night Owl, yeah, this is a legacy, and Obsidian Night Owl theme. Oh yeah. Okay, here we go. I was gonna say, where the heck did I do the thing? Okay, yeah, I did the thing. I did the thing here. All right, so that means I did it. Okay, it's all coming back to me. Oh gosh. Let's see. Michael here in the chat. How is it this many commits to a simple theme rather than a complex framework of a framework? Yeah, it's pretty interesting. I think if anything, think of the commits as micro commits. You're fixing little bugs at a time. So obviously my Night Owl theme here is much smaller in comparison. And I made the mistake of confusing myself. So if this is the original one, I really shouldn't be messing with it too much, I think. So if that's really the case, then actually what I want to do then is let's actually practice the thing that I'm going to do, which is this thing is not actually going to, this is confusing. I'm deleting this repository. Yes. Ben Code Zen, Obsidian Night Owl. This is going bye-bye. Let's see. Let me see. Can I do this? Okay, great. Need to get my GitHub token. GitHub. Here we go. Authentication. Good to go. Okay. So I successfully deleted it, which is good. So now that shouldn't be. Now if I look up Night Owl, great. It's just the one theme, which is great. Okay, knowing what I know now, so, okay, also this means this project needs to get deleted too, because the Night Owl is clearly messing me up. So if I do this, go to my projects, I do need to learn a little bit more about Night Owl. There you go. Okay, Obsidian Night Owl, that's going away. Night Owl theme, this is what we want. Okay, great. So I had some scripts here. I already have some basic things, but at the bare minimum, I had stuff here to like modify things. Okay, so you know what we're gonna do? I think I've decided. In a perfect world, I think I would take the minimal theme and customize it. Nope. Okay, I know how to do this. I know I'm trying to do a good job of keeping this stream under an hour. Let's see. Oh, what? I see Hung Soo in the chat. What up? Okay, yes, we actually do need to talk, Hungsu. A magazine article sounds like fun. Um, I do think it's funny that whatchamacallit. I do think it's cool that to Dudeman's point. For those wondering, if we look at Obsidian Minimal, the minimal theme uses Grunt, which is a very classic way of like building files. So it's kind of a nice throwback to classic coding days. Try to get your theme part of minimal. So you're saying that basically like to create a fork off of it is what you were saying? Because that's exactly it. I don't know how I would, if I could make. That's probably why I forked it to begin with, was because my plan was to move the stuff over and then build it out accordingly. Because what I do like about the minimal theme is that there is stuff that's built out already. So I can certainly do just a straight copy and paste, but then this means that I won't have the history. Minimal theme settings. Okay, hold up. Minimal theme settings. All right, so this is what we're talking about here. So let me copy this into my resources. Resources. Okay. Right. So theoretically, we take the minimal. Yeah, there's a lot of support for it. Minimal theme setting, custom color schemes. Can it also be toggled? Custom, your color scheme, sure. Advanced. CSS snippets, Nord color, for example, what it does. So here we go, Nord. Okay. So you're suggesting that I do like. Okay, yeah, okay. So Hungsu beat me to it. So yeah, so it looks like the suggestion here is to actually propose a night owl color scheme to minimal. Okay, I see value in this. It looks fairly straightforward. All right, so if we're gonna do that, which actually would prevent me from having to maintain the theme, which is, as much as I would love to in an ideal world, that is something that's a little bit tricky for me to do. Then this would mean that okay, so right now I'm using Obsidianite. So let's actually see. So if we go to use, well, here's the thing though. Why is minimal in yeah, it's funny. Minimal is actually, update. Let me do that. Okay, so now that I've updated it, does this mean that minimal is no longer legacy? Okay, so minimal is up to date. Okay, this is the highest one. Okay, this is great. So if I use this theme, okay. All right, so very, very visually different. I like this already much better. This is nice. Okay, so I would plus on that. Then, okay, interface font, inner. Yep, sure. Zoom level, ribbon menu, new sidebar. I'm not going to worry about that right now. But where is my minimal theme? Minimal theme settings. Okay, let's turn that on. And, okay, there we go. Atom, IU. That didn't do anything. Cat Poochin. Maybe I need to reboot it. All right, let's try rebooting it. Okay. So again, if we go into the theme settings, dark mode contrast. Silly me. This is the light mode scheme versus the dark mode scheme. Yep. Science people. Although it's interesting, you would think that this, I guess it makes sense that people might want a different light one to a dark one. I would feel like it'd be an advanced thing though. It's like whatever you prefer, and then if you really want to differentiate it. Anyhow, I say that just a bit tongue-in-cheek right now. Okay, cool. So Nord is here. I mean, it looks pretty good, but Notion? Oh, that's interesting. Rose pine. All right, let's try. Oh, that's too much. Things. That's not bad. Okay. Anyways, okay, match system setting to light and dark mode. Sure. Text labels for primary nav. Okay, so there's clearly a lot of stuff in here, which is fine. I'm happy with this, but oh, this is interesting. Okay, maybe this is something I was gonna complain about. Normal line width, height line width, text font size minimum 16, 20 right now. Small font size. I mean, I'm cool with that, but then I feel like, okay, so this looks like this is the best option at the moment. So let me turn on the style settings here, which is another thing that we can use. So style settings here, minimal interface colors. Okay, so if I do, well, actually cancel. Primary background, let's try this out. Let's do it like a green and let's save. Did that do anything? Interface colors. Wow, there's a lot of stuff in here. But you would think this would have worked. Oh my gosh, hold on. Is it one of those things again where I chose the light mode? All right, so let's just test this out real quick. Purple, save. There we go, yep. Okay, fine. Reset. All right, that's fine. Okay, so if we export this, what this look like? Okay, your unique settings, all this stuff. It's not bad. Dragon Dust here. Yeah, everyone's watching me play around with the light and dark mode. It's just so funny to me that it's automatically split like this. Clearly, I don't know. I'm usually assuming that whatever I'm modifying is it like already knows what theme I'm working on. But again, I'm sure there might be some limitations to the reactivity engine. I'm just kind of used to that. Okay, so that's fine. Level 1 headings. Okay, you can even modify the font size. Okay, so this might start to get a little bit more of what I was thinking here. Headings, this is good. Titles. So text. Okay, oh, that's all the thing that I want to modify. Because I thought this was a little bit weird. The inline title, I think it's weird. I think it's like 2M at the bare minimum. There you go. Okay, so this looks bigger now. Okay, so I like the fact that this is customizable. Okay, so let me reset that. Clearly that did not reset correctly. Okay, that's fine. Okay, so I think we've figured this out then. So if you're, unless you want to do some very active CSS development, it does look like this is the most realistic way going forward in terms of like either allowing someone to copy in your settings, or if you want to do a little bit something more in depth, we could do that. So actually, let's we still have some time here. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go into here and take a look at some of the variables that I played around with. So I want to say, yeah, I played around with some stuff in here. And index, variables, styles, config. So I had this whole thing here, variables. Great. Okay. So let's see if this actually works then. So if we go through this, let's see, minimal theme settings, not much to do, I think, on this end at the moment. So most of the stuff it looks like that we'll be modifying is in style settings. And so if we look then at text, for instance, normal text color, yeah, where's the font family? Ooh, okay, that's fine. Tab title bar, hover only. Okay, inline font. So at the time, I had all my headings doing this. Let's see if this will work. So rubric, weights, I'm gonna make this like 800, 2M, done. Okay, I think that actually modified this correctly, because if we look at the computed property here, there you go, rubric. Okay, so that looks pretty good. But then, okay, great. So inside of style settings, what if we want to do, what other font things are available? Block quotes, Font size, code blocks font size. I'm going to bump this up to 16. Headings, PDFs. Okay, this is cool. Okay, then I'm fairly happy with this. The only thing now is if we go to editor. Yep. Nope. Appearance. Inter. Yeah, interesting. So the text font is inter. But then you would think I would be able to do text font inside of the settings though, right? Because we want the text here. That's not what I want at all. Okay. Colors. Yeah, I would have thought that would have been in text, like a text font family. That's fine with me. Paragraph spacing, title. A little bit weird. Okay, that's fine. So now we can do the theme demo file. Take a look at some of the things I was concerned about. Okay, so this disappeared. I did like that thing from... Ooh, okay, headings. Oh, this is going to bother me. Okay, so headings. I need this to be the right thing. H1 divider line. Okay. Add a border below the heading. Export settings. Oh, okay, down. Okay, interesting. Okay, so if that's the case, then actually what I need to do is this. Okay. So this means I will need to customize the... Basically, I'll need a type ramp. And so let's see how that goes. So all my headings are going to be the same exact font as above. And then we're just going to do a typography ramp. Okay, I think this will honestly, for the most part, give me what I need. Is that pretty good? 96, 60. I don't know if I like this particular type ramp. Nope. Not this one either. Carbon design system. Font ramp. Font ramp. Can't type. Nope. Font typography ramp. All right, whatever. Let's just deal with this for now, because again, we're looking to launch something. So 96, then 60. Okay. So if that's the case, then we could say 96 divided by 16 base. I mean, this might be overkill. That is way overkill. 5, 4, 3. What if I did 3, 2.5 M, then 2M. Let's just see what that looks like real quick. Okay, so 1, 2, 3. I mean, that already looks a bit better. That heading's 3, 2.5, 2. Then 1.75 M. I think it's interesting that the heading 456, this is like a minor rant, that it was always, they were smaller than like the original 1EM, that like, because arguably these headings should always be larger in my mind than the normal text, which is 1EM. But anyways. Okay, cool. So we have some basic headings now. You know what, honestly, Dudeman, I feel like this is honestly probably the most scalable solution in the end, because what we have here is the ability to play around with stuff, more importantly. So again, if I switched over, so let's see, let's do this. If I switch my theme right now to Night Owl, yep, we'll see here that like I did all these, like Night Owl kind of does all these different colors, and maybe I will play with that some, because let's see, if I do this, how to do it? I had a bunch of hex colors for the different ones. Let's see, H1 maybe. There's got to be more than that. Text title. So I had a bunch of text title stuff here. Yep, here we go. So I mean, even if we were to play with this. So again, what I like about this is that this prevents me from really being the blocker going forward. So as long I can basically create some documentation that's like, if you want to use Night Owl going forward, to make sure you have support on as many things as possible, like here are the things. And so if this works the way I think it will, nope. Font style, nope. Bold 600 already, that's good. There we go, so now we have the heading here. And then, yeah, I can, this I think will give me what I need. This tailor, this block quote, multi-line, yeah, this block quote is a little bit more what I want. And then maybe there's a Night Owl snippet to customize it to what people like. Yeah, so the bold here. I definitely want to start customizing some of this stuff. I mean, how would we do that actually? Can I change the bold styles? A bold text color, perfect. So the bold text color here. So what, if I look up for the strong, CMS strong is text bold color. And that's here. Primary light green, which is here. So if I did this, drop this here. Oh, well, hold up. That's light. This is dark. Okay, just like that. Then, cool. Okay, so actually what we're gonna okay, so the main thing really is the background color of all of this. So how did I background color? Border color. Yeah, background primary. That's what I wanted. Where is this? This lives var. Primary dark blue. All right, that lives here inside of variables. Okay, so if that's the case, then I could say that the interface color, base color, background is this. Did that work? Oh, no. Silly me. Defines all background unless overridden by more granular settings. Okay. Primary background is this. And then what was the secondary? Background secondary. And then lighten. So I lightened the dark blue by 2%. Oh yeah, I did math on that. Shoot. So how can I do that here? So I messed up. So save that. Secondary background is this. Can I lighten? How do I calculate the lighten version? See, lighten RGB. Can I do this? Do. Let's do it. Lighten 5%. That's pretty useful. I like this little web app. Great. And then the secondary one is, whoa, too much. I just wanted the hex. Oh no. Okay, hold up. That did not work. That did not, did that copy it? There you go, save. Okay. Already starting to look a little bit closer. So I just got to keep plugging it away actually. As long as I do this, then we have something that will work. So what I will do is, let's see, if I export this, what do we see? Whoa. Okay, you know what? That's fine. This is a start. So we can basically say that the Night Owl will, okay, so it will basically have documentation going forward for this. So now we take a look at this. It's going to take me some getting used to, but Obsidian office hour 27, OH27. Okay, I can work with this. This actually, like we talked about, this is the minimum viable theme. So we're using the minimum theme style settings. Use theme settings, or style, what was the plugin? Style settings. Style settings. This is what I call development, plug and play. You know what? Honestly, half the time it's just just testing things out to see if they work the way you want them to. So I mean, I feel like I do have some. I mean, can we work with the I'm curious if the calendar is something that will be something that we can style via style settings, but no, it doesn't look like it. So that's where I think the CSS snippets will come into play, but we can always play with that a little bit here at a time. Hey, what up, Daniel? How's it going? Let the smart people do the hard. You know what? Honestly, it's yeah, that's true. Let the people who have all the really in-depth knowledge do the thing. We will help to, yeah, make things a bit better. All right. Yep. All right. So it looks like we're. You know what? I have. Okay. This will bother me. My H1, my H2 should not be bigger than my title up here. That's for certain. So, oh, do they consider this the H1? That's an interesting discovery here. Capitalize, font, color. I think it's considering this an H1, which I'm actually pretty surprised about. And I don't know why it's considering it that. Inline text, inline title color. Did I do that? Oh, I must have done that then at some point. Anyways, so, all right, so here's what we're going to do. So one of the things I am trying to do, actually, I'm going forward to going better, is I'm actually trying to do like this. I'm going to try to create I'm going to create write-ups of each session, and that way linking it, and that way people can get access to the resources and stuff, because I'm not totally in love with just having everything via video content. Sharing these resources and stuff is pretty great. So, well, thanks, Daniel, for tuning in to Chill Along Aside. Always a pleasure. So yeah, okay, so this is cool. Looks like we have something that works. There is some stuff I definitely want to change because it's just, yeah, anyhow. We have something live thanks to the help of Dudeman, Michael, everyone in here. Yeah, so to Nikolai's point here, maintenance is going to be a lot easier in the sense that since the minimal theme is built by Capano, and if you didn't know, Capano is actually I believe the CEO of Obsidian at this point. There's probably a lot of interest in keeping this base theme as updated as humanly possible. And so the fact that some of these things that I was complaining about is already fixed, like the fact that I don't have to deal with Strikethrough and stuff, is pretty great. So there are certainly some things I would love to bring back a little bit from the Obsidianite. So just to show that again. So yeah, I want to figure out this hover thing. But some things I did like that it did bring in regards. So actually, I kind of like the line afterward. I don't know. I'll debate. The fading gradient was kind of a neat thing. But this in particular, I did like this visual element that separated my notes. So if I can get that in the Night Owl theme, it was nice to get like that free design element within my Markdown notes for just a triple dash. But that can be a Night Owl snippet that people bring in. So otherwise, though, I think this is it. We are committing to the minimal approach, so I don't have to have managed Git repo and everything. And then I'll need to, the designer in me is now like wanting to OCD about like everything on this. Like, this is not the right font weight. Why is this smaller than this? But that's okay. We did get something up and running. So with that, let me switch over to the camera. Cool. Okay. All right. Well, okay. So you know what? We are in we got something up and running as far as talking about the different ways to do a theme, and incredibly grateful to everyone here on the stream today. Dudeman, we had Michael here. We had just so many people here in the chat, but special shout out to you too. And then Hungseo joining in as well to sort of help contribute. Dragon Dust. People saw me fumble around with my constantly doing light theme stuff over dark theme. And so this is nice because one of the things that I always wanted to do for the Night Owl theme was also make sure there was the light version of it for people to use. So since where we ended up then, for those who are tuning in at the sort of wanted to check out the summary, is we're going to be basing it off of the minimal theme so that the people really familiar with the in-depth ins and outs of Obsidian can basically do their thing and support those things. And then as I notice things, or people to the Night Owl theme notice things that we want to fix, we can always customize it to the way we do things. But this way we don't lose out on having to constantly maintain the theme in accordance to any changes that Obsidian might make to its internals. And so that, I think, is a pretty huge win from a maintenance perspective. That said, for anyone who really does kind of want to like greenfield try it on their own, highly recommend taking the minimal theme as a base and analyzing it, and then figuring out how you might extend on it. But fair warning, it is probably a decent amount of coding and would be a decent amount of work to maintain and upkeep, since there's a lot that's happening and a lot of active development going on within the Obsidian community. So, with that said, I see fun chats happening on the Nux side here. Yes, looking forward to the next build, Ben, where we do more Nux 3 things. And so Daniel, wishing you best of luck on the things you're building. And let's see, yep. Yeah, the Nux Auth module, that is something that is on deck, I think, from what I've heard. The team is working on that hard, because there are a lot of people who do need that one. So, Michael, you are definitely not the only one. Okay, so I guess, yeah, so that is a wrap for this week as far as live streams go. And so for those who want to, again, you want to follow along, figure out when I'm going to be on next, I am posting this. I am getting to the habit now of hopefully getting those schedules live on the bencozen.io/schedule, and then over time just kind of patching that or iterating on it to make it better. But that way you can see. So I think the next time what we're going to do is we're looking at Omnivore, which is dealing with the concept of reading and syncing notes with your highlights. Because I know that's a common scenario that people use when it comes to working with notes. So, no, yes, unfortunately, yeah. So the goal with these streams these days is to keep it basically to the hour, just to help with recording wise, as far as getting people those who do want to throw it in the background. But maybe what I will do in the future, to be honest, is I do like the just kind of pairing with the community as I go. So it'll be a balance between like what's just a pairing session versus what has like a designated topic for those who might want to watch it all the way through to get through at least some sort of high level objective. I don't know. Playing around with a lot of different ideas right now, but progress over perfection, right? That is what I need to keep reminding myself at the end of the day. Cool. All right then. Well, thanks everyone again. It's been a lot of fun. I will catch you all later in the meantime, and hope you all have a wonderful day and rest of the week. And for those that can make it, I'll catch you next week, and otherwise I'll see you online around the Internet of Things. So talk to y'all later. Thanks everyone. Bye.